going on YouTube? Another video coming at you from the Washington Command Post. My name is JD, Commander Plank. Let's dive into this. So it's a Monday, and we have our first win in Commander history, home opener, season opener, whatever you want to call it. Washington Washington comes out of the game with the W. I'm going to dive into everything that will happen in the game. Before I get started, please like, share, subscribe to this video. Also follow me on Twitter. It's Commander J Plank. Comment on the game. So on and so forth. I am a trolley bitch. I swear to God, I'm a trolley bitch. All I was doing the whole game was trolling the Colts because of their woes, and I'm sure it's somehow Carson Wentz's fault. It was their fault. The whole last season was their fault. His fault, according to the media and Jim Irsay. So I hope that team doesn't win a damn game. 0-16-1 is how I hope they go this year. But Washington gets a win against Jacksonville. I'm going to go through every position and kind of just go over how everyone did. I'm going to start with the most important position in football, quarterback. Carson Wentz. I thought Carson Wentz played extremely well, although he did have 2 picks. If it wasn't for Carson Wentz, I don't think any other quarterback we can throw 2 picks and still score 28 points and win. And we had 3 turnovers, but 2 of them were Carson Wentz's fault. So that happened. And he also had some passes he was inaccurate on. So we could have had more. We could have been more effective. Like I said, if you take away that one turnover we had, where he fumbled, we probably would have scored at least another field goal before halftime. So I don't want to. I think Carson Wentz did amazing. I think Carson Wentz, on a scale, a grading scale, he got a B plus to me. He didn't get an A because he threw 2 picks. If he threw 1 pick, I might give him an A minus. But he doesn't get an A because he didn't do that. But he played amazing. He had great resilience. Definitely slammed all these rumors about him or whatever. The stigma about Carson Wentz, once it goes bad, and it keeps going bad. No, he bounced back. He showed great resilience. And he played extremely well. I'm very happy with Carson Wentz's performance. We get that out of every game. I'm going to be very stoked with this season. Made a prediction. I mean, it's kind of hard to predict out the season. He didn't get 4 touchdowns a game. That'd be incredibly insane. That's like 70 touchdowns or something like that, or some. Yeah, I think it's up there, 60 some. So very happy with Carson Wentz. Yeah, and he's the only quarterback to play, so excellent job by Carson Wentz. Excellent job. This is exactly the kind of performance that I was expecting to get out of the quarterback position when we signed him, when we traded for him, whatever you want to call it, whenever we chose him, and that's why we chose him. Okay? When's the last time you saw Terry McLaurin catch a touchdown in stride like that? Okay? When's the last? This is how good Carson Wentz is. And now here's the thing: our receiving core is good, so it's gonna actually not force him to fix his mechanics. But that touchdown pass, the second one to Jahan Dotson, he did not step into it properly. It was slightly underthrown, and Dotson came back and still got it. But hey, Carson Wentz took the risk. He threw the ball. He put it in a good spot where Dotson can get it, and he honestly didn't step into it. He just used his arm and flung it there. He literally just flicked his wrist, and he got the ball where it needed to be for Jahan Dotson to make a play. There's a lot of good things that have come out of this quarterback situation this year. It's a good feeling. So let's move on to the running backs. The running back situation. We played this game with J.D. McKissick and Gibson. Gibson looked amazing. Took care of the football. They used him to, establish the run a little more. McKissick did look well too. I thought, honestly, they should have ran the ball a little bit more. They should have done a better job early of establishing the run. I thought that would have been something that would have helped a little bit later, maybe when it comes to eating clock or whatever. Maybe wear down that defense. I think you put a lot of strain on the offense. Now, Carson was only sacked 1 time. But the offensive line did great. I'll get to them in a minute. But I thought they should have ran the ball just a little bit more, is all I'm getting at with that. Should have ran the ball just a smidge more. Tony Gibson only got 14 actual carries. He did get a lot of catches, and that was good. Good out of the running back group. I'd say a solid B+, A-. for the running back group. So moving on to the receiving core, the three horsemen, three amigos, a trifecta. I don't know what you want to call it. But our three receiving core, three receivers are freaking amazing. I'm pretty sure the whole league is about to have nightmares about how they're going to try to stop this receiving core. First early they went to Curtis Samuel. Then they went to Jahan Dotson. Then when they needed to, they went to Terry. Now everyone's like, oh, don't panic because Terry didn't have a lot of touches. They're keying on Terry. They didn't know what we had in Curtis Samuel and what we had in Jahan Dotson. Okay, now teams are going to have to give Terry McLaurin or other guys a lot more respect because Curtis Samuel was used effectively in our offense. Jahan Dotson was used very effectively. Okay, and I mean Terry, teams usually key on him, and this is what I said in the beginning. A couple things that are going to be different this year. One, even if you didn't have Curtis Samuel, I said you're going to have a lot more balance when it comes to coverages. You're not going to be shifting to Terry McLaurin very much. You're not going to be doing that because now you're going to leave Jahan Dotson single coverage, which is what happened. You're going to leave Curtis Samuel single coverage, which happened a lot. And I'm not getting to the other weapons yet. I'm not getting to Gibson running free out of the backfield. I'm not getting to McKissick running free out of the backfield, which made checkdowns easy. So there's just a lot of dynamics there, and you have to honor the deep threat. You have to honor play action because Carson Wentz will throw the ball. He'll put it on the dime. He'll put it where it needs to be, and he's just a very good quarterback, and that adds a drastically different dynamic to the offense, and it drastically makes the defense have to cover way more stuff. Okay, against Terry McLaurin, Taylor Heineke, they didn't have to play back. They could play up, and they could take away the quick passes and force you to play to develop because Heineke couldn't throw as deep. That also means they could key on the running game, which last year's running game was still great, but teams keyed on it and put guys in the box. We were just that good at blocking for runs. And so the only downside I can think of for this receiving core is the fumble by Curtis Samuel, which wasn't really his fault. Just where he was, it was a great play by the defender, but it's the timing which it was. We were about to go at least score another field goal, hopefully. They could have scored. So it's the timing of it. Is what it is. But I'm stoked about the result. So I'm not going to complain. The result of the receiving corps did great. We haven't even got Cam Sims involved, Dax Milne. So fantastic job by the receiving corps. Very excited to see what they do going forward. And I'm curious how teams are going to try to defend that. Maybe it's going to be a thing where they're going to try to get after Carson. I don't know. We'll see. But tight ends didn't really do much today. There was a pretty big drop early by John Bates to move the sticks on our third. I think it was our third possession where we had scored on our first two. And the third one, it might have been our fourth possession. I think it might have been our fourth possession. But John Bates had a pretty big drop. That would have moved the chains and sustained the drive. So, not happy about that. But Logan Thomas did Logan Thomas things, man. Caught the ball when needed. He was open when he was needed. He was a good safety valve. He's a good, good like check down option. He still is getting back his legs. He kind of looked like his legs were heavy when he was running. But he's a good option, and we didn't have to really go to him in the red zone. We found other things we could do in the red zone, and we haven't even unleashed everything else with our offense. That's the thing about this right now. This is what's freaking me out in a good way. We have not showcased Cole Turner yet. We haven't showcased Brian Robinson yet. Those two dynamics to our offense have not been put on the field yet. Okay? The third thing I want to talk about is offensive line. I think the offensive line did freaking amazing. Carson Wentz only got sacked one time. And that's the rookie first-round draft pick, first overall pick. Got a step on Samuel Cosme and just got to the quarterback. But that was the only one. And Carson, for the most part, had a pretty clean pocket for most of the game. And the offense overall, I'm going to give the offense a grade. I mean, there was 3 turnovers, but your offense is pretty damn good when you're throwing 3 turnovers. The other team didn't have one until a minute left, and you still put up 28 points and you won. So the offense to me gets an A minus. Fantastic job offensively. Like I said, probably going to put a lot more points on the board at halftime. If we don't fumble that ball, we get another at least field goal at halftime. Okay, it's been a 30 piece. If it wasn't for that. But you can't what if forever. We did a great job. Now I'm going to talk about the defense. Now the defense looks like it played great. Only gave up 22 points. That's a little more than I would like. Good defense, whole team under 20. Third down, they were 3 for 13 or something on third down, so that's a great percentage. And Kendall Fuller and Jackson. I think Jackson did great. Kendall Fuller, he needs to watch his hands or watch what he's doing when it comes to receivers. He got a lot of penalties early that moved the sticks for the Jags. He did a lot of penalties early in dumb situations. He really did. He needs to clean that up. You clean that up, we got ourselves might have ourselves a decent defense. The only real issue I have is early in the game, it looked like Trevor Lawrence was getting rattled because we were getting to him. And then later in the game, they kind of adjusted and we stopped getting to him. Now it might be the fact that John Allen was out with an injury. It might be a fact that Cameron Curl wasn't there. But let's go over each part of the defense real quick. I'll go over the coordinators here in a minute. We'll go over that here in a minute because I got some things to say about Scott Turner. Okay, so defensive line. I think defensive line, run-wise, I thought they did pretty well. They got some runs on them, but I think overall they did pretty well stuffing the run and forcing them into, second and long and third and long situations. They did a lot of that. Pass rush, it's the same as it was last year, almost. So they got a couple sacks today, and a couple sacks by committee. So that was good. That's what you want. You want to have gang tackles. You want to have everyone meeting at the quarterback. That means everyone's in the lanes and they're all converging at the same point. Okay, but sometimes it looked like we were just a half second away from getting another sack. Now we had that a lot last year. We were just a half second away from getting a sack, and then he throw the ball and the receiver's wide open. Trevor Lawrence was not rolling out a lot in this game. I'll give that credit to the defense. That was one of my concerns, was the quarterback scrambling and extending plays. We didn't have that a lot with Trevor Lawrence. He did a little bit of it, but not a lot. And defensive line, we'll see. We'll see how it's going to go. I'll give them maybe a C plus, maybe a B minus, a low, exactly an 80 on the defense side, a B minus, because they did do decent in some ways, but they got to get to the quarterback better. They got to get the quarterback more. And I think early they had him rattled. Now, here's a stigma. Whenever Carson Wentz throws the ball awry, it's because Carson Wentz is bad. And that's all the thing I heard on Twitter anytime they overthrew somebody. Carson Wentz overthrew this guy. Okay? He sucks. So when Trevor Lawrence does it, we're lucky because he missed. Okay, is the Jacksonville Jaguars not lucky because Carson might have missed on a pass or two? Okay, and my honest opinion is this. And when it comes to rookies, it's more like this, and not veterans like Carson Wentz. But sometimes the reason why rookies or young quarterbacks or young players make mistakes is because of what's going on around them. I mean, we hit Trevor Lawrence a decent amount of times. Maybe he got a little happy feet. Maybe he got a little antsy. Maybe he threw inaccurately because he got hit a couple times. That could be the situation. I honestly think. So I think it was middle of the second quarter. They had to play. It was an out to Travis Eaton, and Derek Forrest, whatever his name is, just came in and freaking cleaned his clock. Forrester lit the wood on, pun intended. Okay, it knocked the ball out. It wasn't a catch. I guarantee you, that hit was massive. That was a big hit. I guarantee you, the reason why he dropped that what could have been a touchdown pass, which there's no way to prove it was. It was a defender honing down on him. But the reason why he dropped that touchdown pass might have been because he just got his clock clean and someone laid some lumber on him. and he didn't want to get hit. Okay, so there's reasons why people do things. Some of it is because, you know, the defense is rattling somebody, or maybe the defense put a hit on somebody, but there's a reason why that happened. And so big shout out to Derek Forster. He had a great game. He had a game-winning pick, and he also had a lot of good hits. He filled some lanes, a lot of good stuff. He did a great job. I'm very happy with him. And I said this in the offseason. I'm not gaslighting anything. I really said this in the offseason. I said maybe Ron isn't going after a guy like safeties and corners because maybe he trusts what he drafted last year, or what he drafts, or what he drafts, and he has a lot more faith in his player analysis at certain positions. Okay, Cameron Curl was a 7th round draft pick, and we definitely are not upset about that draft pick. Okay, Derek Forster, same thing. I said that. Maybe there's a reason why Ron didn't want to go out and get another safety or whatever. Maybe there's a reason why he was happy with being content with Forster and Cameron Curl and Bobby McCain. There was a reason, and Jeremy Reeves. There's a reason for that. Maybe we know the reason now. Maybe he's confident in Derek Forster's ability. And after watching that game, I'm kind of understanding it too. So, you know, not always be too skeptical of Ron when he does something. But I'm sure the man has a method to his madness, and I think we just got a little bit affirmed that. I got affirmed of that theory that I think Ron just trusts his drafting. That's why he didn't go after another corner. He trusts Benjamin St. Juste. He trusts Jackson. He trusts Fuller. So on and so forth. Speaking of the corners, Fuller needs to stop. I don't know what he needs to do, but he needs to quit doing what he's doing and just cover guys. I think the cornerbacks got like a C. They didn't do great. They didn't do bad. I think Jackson did great. I don't think anyone threw the ball his way. I don't think anyone caught the ball on him. Juice was pretty good. It was mainly they were picking on the linebackers, and they were picking on Kendall Fuller. Kendall Fuller needs to step it up. He needs to play better than that. He was a top 30 rated corner last year. He needs to do better than that. And then the defensive line, linebacking core, I can't complain a lot about the linebacking core. I think they did decent. Cole Holcomb did have a missed tackle that would have prevented a touchdown. But for the most part, I think Jamin Davis actually did pretty well, other than he got outran by Travis Eaton. And what could have been a touchdown was a bad throw by Trevor Lawrence. And like I said, hey, maybe those bad throws are because someone's getting rattled. Okay? So now I'm going to talk about the coordinators. I'm going to talk about the defense first. I think Jack Del Rio in the first half did fantastic. Second half didn't do very well at all. I think he did okay. He did okay enough that, you know, he's going to prolong the conversation about him losing his job. But he needs to have... I don't understand why we play such a soft zone. I want this team to be the hammer, not the nail. I want this team to be the guys that are going to initiate everything. Contact. Come up and lay some wood on people. Therefore, you have guys that can play. There are football players on this team that can do that. We don't need a soft zone. We need an aggressive downhill attack on the quarterback and aggressive coverage of weapons. Okay, because guess what? The Jacksonville Jaguars do not have great weapons. Okay, they're okay. You have both the Joneses are okay, and you have Christian Kirk is not bad either. Oh my God. Okay. But in the same breath, we're gonna play better receiving cores than that. Let's say that, and we have better tight ends they're gonna play against than that too. So I won't go too much into that. Jack Del Rio did okay today. The defense needs to be a little bit better when it comes to just in general. The secondary probably is what it is. I think the defensive line did okay getting to the quarterback today. They can do better, and the cornerbacks can do better at coverage. So I think it's a mixed bag. I honestly, linebacker core, other than missing a couple tackles, I don't have too much to say about them. Nothing that stood out, but I think Jamin Davis did better than he's done, and he's looking pretty good. So I'm happy with the way Jamin Davis played. Holcomb's usually pretty consistent, and he had a touchdown saving tackle miss today. So you can do a little bit better. That's all I'm saying. But Jack Del Rio needs to be a lot more aggressive, man. Just be aggressive. Okay, don't rely on this soft zone, because a good quarterback's gonna pick it apart. And I don't think Trevor Lawrence is a great quarterback, but he's good enough to do it. And he did a little bit of that today. Okay, if it wasn't for him throwing a dumb bomb late, we might have been in trouble, because he can move the ball. Okay. Let's tap the screen, make sure it's working. Okay, I'll move this one. Okay, there we go. Okay, offensive coordinator. So, Scott Turner. Okay, so I'm going to go, it's the yin and yang with Scott Turner. He did call some good plays. Scott Turner has a lot of toys to work with. He has a lot of weapons. Okay, we have our 3 very good wide receivers. I think they're very good. It's probably the best trio in the league. Then we have a good running back. We actually have 3 good running backs when Brian Robinson gets back, I think. And we have some good tight ends. So, we don't need, this is my issue with Scott Turner. This is my issue with Scott Turner. It's always his issue. He does not understand what momentum is. He does things a lot of the time, that kill momentum. We're driving the ball. Now, luckily, we have a quarterback that could overcome it. Now, this happened a lot last year. This is why I didn't like Scott Turner last year. A lot of the time, last year, we would get the ball rolling, get some momentum, get the offense going, get out the keys, we're on a drive, that kind of thing. And then some dumb play, some trick play, something that just kills momentum and stalls the drive out dead in its tracks. Okay, example, second drive of the game. Okay, we're moving. This team, we are just marching down the field just like we were in the first drive. Boom, 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 marching down the field. And he does a stupid, for no good reason, like some kind of trick play reverse bullshit. Pardon my French, but trick play reverse bullshit. 100% dumb play. Why? You do those plays when your offense needs a spark. And it might spark like a little bit of momentum. That's what you do those plays for. Not like everything's rolling great. Let's do something that could fuck it up. Pardon my French. But that's exactly the way I view trick plays. Trick plays are to be used whenever you throw the other team off balance. They're already on their heels. Okay, they're already on their heels. You just gave them a play where they can make a big play and stop our momentum. That's what you do. And he did it a lot last year with Taylor Heineke. Now, Taylor Heineke, I don't want to say he's more fragile. It's just he's not as good a quarterback. So the momentum you're getting with Taylor Heineke is a lot more fragile than the momentum you're getting from Carson Wentz. Now, I think Carson, like in that drive, we got lucky because I think there's like I think we either converted or there was some dumb penalty, some kind of penalty happened, and it helped us convert and move the sticks and move on. But he does that a lot, and he also some of his play calls is very sporadic. I think he's a creative play caller. He does have some pretty good plays, like the touchdown pass to Curtis Samuel. The way that play was designed, it was designed very well. And he's got guys open. I'm not sitting here saying every coordinator can get guys open. It's not the coordinator getting guys open that's good. Every coordinator can do that. There's thousands of you can get coordinator from high school. You take someone anywhere and get them and find a way to get people open. Okay, that's not it. You have to find a way to do it in a way that the quarterback, while all these things are happening, can also go through this progression, not stare down a situation. Okay, and I think Scott Turner is good at being creative. What he's not good at is understanding momentum. He's not good at understanding like when you call certain plays, when you call certain things. Like last year, I'll give one example, and then I'll move on from this. I don't want to beat Scott Turner in the dirt. He did just have an offense put up 28 points. I'm just saying these little things could make him a little bit better. Last year, we're playing. I don't remember who it was, but we're trying to eat up the clock. I think it's the Raiders, honestly, but we're trying to eat up the clock. It might have been Buccaneers. It's one of those two. It's one of those games in that 4-game winning streak we had. And we're trying to eat up clock. Okay, we're driving down the field. And I blamed in another video Junior Gibson just not having this wherewithal where he is. But if you're trying to eat up clock and you're already kind of like getting chunk plays, why are you running outside the tackle runs? Like, this doesn't make sense to me. Why are you running plays outside the tackle where there's likely going out of bounds? We had I don't remember what game it was exactly. It might have been honestly the Seahawks game. But we're running stuff outside tackle, and on 2 straight plays where we could have eaten up almost a minute off the clock, or at least forced them to call timeout. And 2 straight plays we're running off tackle where it's like a wide pitch, and Antonio Gibson gets forced out of bounds. Like, why are you running that if we're trying to eat up clock and we already have the lead? We're just trying to win the game. So, I don't know. He just does things like that. Something that's not smart that an experienced coordinator would do in certain situations. So, all in all, I don't have a lot of bad things to say about this game. It was kind of an emotional roller coaster, not gonna lie. It was like, oh great, we got a good quarterback now. I never wavered, honestly, but in the back of my mind, I was like, when he threw those 2 picks, I was like, oh man, is this what the Colts fans are talking about? But he came back and he did great. I couldn't be happier with Carson Wentz, and I hope it's just the first of many of his Carson Wentz revenge tour, redemption tour, whatever you want to call it, all season long. I really hope he has like a season that is like for the ages, and then the freaking Colts go 0-16-1. Okay, you guys don't like him, and you traded him, and you didn't want him. Move on. But the coach is still, the owner is still talking about him. It's not the coach, it's the owner. And I don't like Jim Irsay, so I'm at the point now. I'm like, you know what? Fuck this guy. Like, I hope this team loses every game. I hope they freaking tied to the Texans, a team that's projected to be in the one of the top 3 picks. They're gonna get the top 3 pick this year. Starting Davis Mills. Okay. So yeah, I'm very satisfied with this win. I have a preview for the Lions game whenever it happens. I'm excited, man. The Lions are competitive though, so I don't want to sleep on them. I don't want us to take them lightly. But we got out week 1 with a win. The rest of the division pretty much won except for Dallas. Quarterback injured. I hate seeing other teams get injuries. I hate it because there's always excuses then when we beat them, or if we beat them. Hope John Allen's okay. I hope Darian Mathis is okay. We got some bang-ups, but I think we have a good team in place to cover their backs. So, yeah, that's my video. Please hit the subscribe button, like, share, and subscribe, and follow me on Instagram or Twitter, Commander J Blank. I literally like troll and make and troll the heck out of stuff whenever the game's playing. Every time they had something about the Colts game, I was like, probably Carson Wentz's fault. Probably Carson Wentz's fault because they blamed him for everything else last year. But good for Carson Wentz, get that redemption. Get that monkey off his back. He lost to Jacksonville last year. Yada yada yada. Oh, by the way, there's like 8 people or like 10 people on ESPN or on NFL who picked out of 10, 8 of them picked us to lose. So glad to see those idiots were wrong too. So, all right, guys, I'm out. Have a good one, and hail to the Commanders. See ya.